Imagine waking up in the morning, going to work, and suddenly you can't remember who your friends are, who your parents are, or even your own name. And this isn't a dream. This is reality for people with a rare disease that can completely erase your memory in just 1 month. You might think this sounds like a horror movie. It's not. This disease exists right now, and it progresses faster than any type of old age dementia. Today, we're going to explain how this is possible, who's vulnerable, which symptoms show up first, and why doctors still don't know how to stop this destructive process. But a warning, the story is so disturbing, you'll want to double-check every detail and read it again. Worldwide, only about 300 cases are known. 300, but each one is a life disappearing like sand slipping through fingers. This isn't just forgetfulness. People start losing pieces of their personality. At first, recent memories vanish. Yesterday, last week. Then, years and decades disappear. In the end, only basic instincts remain: eating, sleeping, breathing. Scientists are still trying to understand this phenomenon. It's called rapid onset amnesia. Sometimes it appears suddenly, sometimes after a cold or stress. But the result. Take Mark, a 34-year-old engineer from Germany. At first, it seemed harmless. He forgot small things: where he put his keys, what he had for breakfast. Friends laughed it off, thinking it was stress or tiredness. But after 2 weeks, it got terrifying. Mark stopped recognizing his colleagues, didn't understand what he was doing at work, and at home, he couldn't remember his children's names. His parents said it felt like their son had become a stranger. Then there's Laura, 29, a university lecturer. Her friends noticed strange changes. She repeated the same stories over and over, got lost in her own neighborhood, and forgot how to use her phone. After a month, she couldn't even remember where she worked or who her parents were. Symptoms develop quickly. At first, it's small memory gaps, repeated forgetfulness, and trouble concentrating. Then, important memories and personal moments vanish. The final stage is complete memory loss, leaving the person as a shell with no personal history. Scientists link this to a rare mutation in a neuron gene responsible for storing long-term memory. Some studies suggest viruses or autoimmune reactions, where the body attacks its own brain cells, might play a role. But no one knows exactly what triggers it. Relatives face a moral tragedy. You watch someone you've known all your life disappear before your eyes. Some families make photo albums and videos to remind their loved ones of the past, but after a month, it loses all meaning. This syndrome is incredibly rare, but its consequences are horrifying. Normally, memory loss develops over years. Here, it happens in just weeks, and doctors cannot predict who will be next. Anyone could face this nightmare, from a healthy student to a successful professional. Scientists worldwide are working to understand this terrifying syndrome. Experiments are testing drugs that protect neurons and restore their connections, using stem cells, electrical brain stimulation, and even gene therapy. Early results suggest that in rare cases, the brain can partially recover lost memories. Time is critical. Every day counts. Early diagnosis could be the difference between keeping your memories and losing them completely. Even so, the disease is cruel. Families watch loved ones vanish. In some cases, patients relearn to speak, eat, or recognize faces, but memories from before the disease are gone forever. Still, the human brain is remarkable. Even in the most critical cases, small miracles happen. One patient, after 2 months, remembered the names of family members and major life events. But such miracles are extremely rare. For most people, this disease silently steals not just memories, but their identity. Anyone could wake up one day in an empty room of their own mind. This isn't just a scary story, it's real. It's one of the fastest and most destructive threats to the human mind that you've probably never heard of. Memory isn't guaranteed, and sometimes it can disappear faster than a blink. We've just seen how a rare disease can erase a person's memory in just a month, turning them into a blank slate. But there's another nightmare for the mind and body that steals life in a different way, a rare disease that makes people sleep 23 hours a day. Imagine waking up in the morning, trying to get out of bed, and you can't. Your body feels paralyzed, your mind is clear, but you just can't move. You close your eyes for a few minutes, and suddenly almost a whole day has passed. This isn't tiredness or normal sleep. For people with this condition, life is literally swallowed by sleep. Ordinary days become a struggle just to stay awake for a few hours. You might think it's just stress. No, this disease ruins jobs, relationships, friendships, and the ability to live a normal life. And the worst part is, doctors still don't know how to stop it. Only a few dozen cases have been confirmed worldwide. Each story is heartbreaking. People lose their jobs, families, and loved ones because their bodies demand nearly constant sleep. At first, it starts with mild drowsiness and short naps, but over time, it can isolate a person completely from the world. The first symptom is overwhelming sleepiness. Patients can fall asleep during a conversation, while eating, or even while moving. Then comes complete exhaustion. The body can't move much, while the brain still works, but only a little. Scientists call this 23/1 hypersomnia. The exact causes are unknown. Some think it's due to rare genetic mutations. Others suspect viral infections or problems with the hypothalamus, the part of the brain that controls sleep and wake cycles. Family members describe it as watching a person slowly disappear. They seem there, but they're drifting further and further into sleep. Over time, daily routines, work, and even talking to people become impossible. The scariest part? Anyone could be next. A student, a young professional, a parent. Anyone can get trapped in their own body, stuck between sleep and wakefulness. One early case was Claire, a 27-year-old student in the U.S. At first, it seemed like normal tiredness. She fell asleep in class and occasionally missed lessons, thinking it was fine. Within weeks, sleep started taking up almost the whole day. Claire could only stay awake for a couple of hours, spending the rest in deep sleep. Her parents said she was disappearing and didn't know how to help. Another case was Michael, a 42-year-old engineer in Canada. At first, he slept 16 hours a day, a lot, but not critical. A month later, he started falling asleep during conversations and family dinners. Work became impossible and social life collapsed. Soon, he spent 23 hours in bed, leaving only 1 hour to eat, shower, and do the bare minimum with others. The symptoms come on slowly, but don't let up. First, it's mild sleepiness, short naps, and trouble concentrating. Then, sleep takes over completely. People can't work, study, or socialize. Their bodies weaken, muscles shrink, and while the brain still works, memory, reactions, and thinking skills decline. Families describe it as watching a person fade away. They are there, but they're slipping further into sleep. Over time, normal routines, work, and talking to others become impossible. Some families make schedules to make sure the person eats and takes medication, but it's only a partial help. This disease doesn't spare anyone. Anyone could become a prisoner in their own body, stuck between sleep and being awake. A student, a successful business person, a parent, no one is safe. But sometimes small miracles happen. A few patients slowly regain a normal sleep-wake cycle and get back to at least part of a normal life. These cases are rare, but they give scientists hope. Doctors and scientists around the world are trying to understand this nightmare. The main idea is that the hypothalamus, which controls sleep, isn't working right. When it fails, the body can't regulate sleep, and people spend almost the whole day in bed. There are experiments with different treatments. Patients get brain stimulation, special medications, and even genetic research to try to fix the problem. Results vary. Some people see improvements, others don't. Research shows that catching it early is key. The sooner hypersomnia is detected, the better the chance of restoring even part of a normal life. But the disease develops slowly, and early symptoms are easy to mistake for stress or normal tiredness. Families describe it as a kind of moral tragedy. The person is there, but slowly disappearing. They can't work or study, and communicating becomes nearly impossible. Families make schedules, remind them to eat and take medication, but no one can stop the sleep completely. Still, there's hope. In rare cases, patients start recovering gradually. One young man was eventually able to stay awake 4 to 5 hours a day, slowly returning to normal life. Stories like this give scientists hope that the brain can fight even the worst sleep disorders. But imagine the worst. Any of us could face this syndrome without warning. A cold, stress, or rare genetic predisposition could leave you trapped in your own body, stuck between sleep and wakefulness for almost a whole day. Time is the enemy. While you're reading this, somewhere, a disease may be stealing days, months, or years from ordinary people. 23-1 hypersomnia is real, and it can destroy lives. Sleep isn't always rest. Sometimes it can be the scariest enemy of all.